Look around you, you will likely see it somewhere. A pair of trousers perhaps, or a jacket. It is a fabric that has conquered the world. We call it denim, and it comes in a remarkable spectrum of a single color. There is the deep, dark navy of a brand new pair. The soft, pale sky blue of a well-loved jacket worn for years. Cerulean, azure, slate, all of them are fundamentally blue. But have you ever stopped to wonder why? Why this one particular color for a fabric worn by billions? The story is a fascinating journey, woven from threads of history, chemistry, human ingenuity. The answer is not a simple one. Our story begins in the 19th century, a time of tremendous industry and hard physical work. Across America, people were building railroads, digging for gold, taming the land. These laborers, from miners in California to cowboys on the Great Plains, needed clothing that could withstand the rigors of their daily lives. Their trousers would tear, their pockets would rip, and their clothes would wear out far too quickly. They needed something tougher, something more resilient. The solution came in the form of a sturdy twill-weave cotton cloth. We know it today as denim. The fabric itself was not new. Its origins trace back to Europe, particularly to Nimes, France. It was woven in a way that made it incredibly durable. The diagonal ribbing you can still see on your jeans today is a hallmark of this twill weave, a structure that resists tearing and abrasion. But the fabric alone was not enough. The constant strain on the seams, especially around the pockets where miners would store tools and ore samples, remained a point of failure. There was a clear and pressing need for an even stronger garment, built for harsh manual labor. The world of these workers was dusty and gritty. Cleanliness was a luxury, and practicality was paramount. Clothes had to endure physical strain and constant dirt. Enter Levi Strauss, a Bavarian immigrant. He arrived in America in 1853. He established a wholesale dry goods company in San Francisco. He sold a wide variety of items to small stores: textiles, bedding, clothing. Those stores supplied a growing population: miners, settlers of the American West. He was a merchant who understood customer needs. He knew they needed things tough and built to last. He provided raw materials, but it would take collaboration. That collaborator was Jacob Davis, a tailor in Reno, Nevada. He regularly bought bolts of cloth from Levi Strauss & Co. A customer came with a problem. Her husband's trousers constantly ripped, especially at the pockets and at the base of the button fly. An idea struck Davis. He'd use small copper rivets to attach straps to horse blankets. He wondered if rivets could reinforce pants. He tried it. The result was a garment of unprecedented strength. In 1872, he wrote to Levi Strauss to patent and manufacture riveted waist overalls. The choice of blue was not arbitrary. The dye used was indigo, a pigment with a history stretching back thousands of years. It was one of the original natural dyes, prized for its deep color and remarkable light fastness. But what made indigo truly special and perfectly suited for denim was its unique chemical behavior. Unlike most dyes, which penetrate deep into the core of a fiber and form a permanent bond, indigo does something quite different. It behaves more like a coating that clings to the surface of the cotton threads. This is a process known as surface dyeing. This seemingly small chemical detail is the secret behind the magic of blue jeans. Because the indigo molecules attach only to the exterior, the core of the cotton thread remains white. When you wear a pair of jeans, the constant friction from movement, sitting, and washing slowly rubs away the outermost layer of dye molecules. This wear reveals the undyed white core underneath. This is what creates the signature fading patterns that make every pair unique. The areas that experience the most stress and friction, the knees, the thighs, the seams, fade the fastest. This fading process transforms the garment over time. A new, stiff pair is like a blank canvas. As it is worn, it begins to record the life and habits of its owner. The whiskers that form across the lap, the honeycombs behind the knees, and the soft fading along the thighs. Each pair slowly morphs into a personalized map of wear and tear. For millennia, the only source of this treasured blue dye was nature. It was extracted from the leaves of specific plants, most famously Indigo tinctoria, cultivated extensively across the world, particularly in India. For centuries, India was the primary producer for the global market. The process was labor-intensive. Farmers harvested the plants, which were then soaked to ferment and oxidized by beating the water, causing the blue pigment to precipitate, then be pressed into cakes, dried, and sold. Demand skyrocketed with the rise of blue jeans. Natural supply struggled. Prices were volatile. Chemists raced to find an alternative. Adolf von Baer took the challenge. After nearly 2 decades, he deciphered indigo's structure in 1883, monumental for organic chemistry. BASF then developed a commercially viable synthetic indigo, bringing it to market in 1897, chemically identical but cheaper and consistent. It could be made in immense quantities with uniform quality. Costs fell dramatically. Within years, synthetic indigo replaced the natural product in industry. Farms collapsed, factories scaled. Blue jeans became affordable for the masses, a victory of the laboratory over the field. For the first half of the 20th century, blue jeans remained firmly in the realm of workwear, the uniform of the American cowboy, the farmer, and the factory worker. But this began to change after the Second World War. Hollywood became a powerful cultural force, and jeans began their transformation. Actors wore blue jeans not as workwear, but as symbols of youthful angst and defiance. Suddenly, blue jeans were cool. They became the unofficial uniform of teenage subculture, signaling a break from stiff, formal traditions. They represented freedom, independence, and a touch of rebellion. Some schools even banned them, only adding to the appeal. Jeans were worn by rock and roll stars, artists, and student protesters. Designers saw the fabric's potential. High-end labels put jeans on the runway, reimagining them with designer labels and tailored fits, and marketing them as luxury. Jeans became a versatile staple for almost any setting. So, the next time you pull on a pair of blue jeans, take a moment and consider the incredible story woven into their threads. It begins with the simple need of a 19th century miner for a stronger pair of pants. It is a story of 2 immigrants, Strauss and Davis, whose practical invention grew into a global phenomenon. It is a story of a deep and mysterious blue, first from a humble plant, later recreated in the vats of a laboratory. It is a story of chemistry, of dye molecules that cling only to the surface, creating a fabric that lives and breathes with you. It carries the spirit of the American West, the grit of the industrial age, and the rebellious energy of post-war youth. It has been a symbol of labor, a symbol of defiance, and a symbol of high fashion. A simple piece of fabric held by copper rivets and dyed a particular shade of blue. A simple color choice from the 1800s turned into a global fashion identity still going strong today. Yet it tells a story as vast and as fascinating as our own.